And I think Celtic's biggest problem is supply. I think it was fair enough comment to say maybe Johnny Kenny wasn't up to the levels. Now, I don't know if these two will eventually, Adamu and Svanchara, will be good enough in the end, but they certainly look as though they've got a bit about them. But no striker's going to do anything without supply. And at the moment, that's where Celtic are really, really struggling. And that goes back to your point, Keith. I'm not going to trot out the same boring name yet again, Nicholas Kuhn. Well, on the evidence of you're not going to judge a boy after 45 minutes, of course you're not. But we're usually quite no bad at spotting a player pretty quickly. And I don't think Mvuka grabbed anybody with his first 45 minutes. But listen, as I say, you're not going to judge a boy after that. But Celtic, Martin O'Neill would have been wanting a ready-made somebody to come in there, bang, give him the ball in the first 5 minutes, zip the fullback, and create something and get everybody up. And, oh, here's a player. And it
I find it interesting, Swanee. I said the other night that I'm yet to be convinced that James Forrest isn't the best option. And that usually happens around about this time of any season.
At the start of the second half, Mvuka was taken off at half time, and at the start of the second half last night, the two wide men were Yang and Forrest. Exactly the situation Celtic were trying to get out of in the last window.
Yeah.
This window, still back in that situation. Again, okay, guys who made it was given the night off, and he would have. But, I mean, you would like to think that Celtic would have given Martin O'Neill proper, ready-made, gun players. Now, maybe I'm being unfair in Mvuka. Maybe it's just first night, wasn't quite at it, and he'll get good. But I didn't think the signs were fantastic initially. And there's creativity issues in the middle of the park. We talked about this the other week, about Nigren and things like that. It's not a lot. I mean, Rio Hatate and Paolo Bernardo were given a big chance last night to go in and, right, lads, it's time now. Step up and go and dominate this game and go make things happen. Didn't happen again.
Yeah. No, I thought they get dominated in midfield, Swanee.
Oh, Ethan Hamilton was the best player in the park by a minute.
Outstanding.
In fairness, it's a lot easier to break than create. We all know that. It's easier to defend and score. And his job was primarily to shield, break things up, take the pressure off running with the ball, which he did fantastically well in the first half. Never mind his goal. There was a couple of times when he broke play up, he was getting away, but then he was ball carrying and taking a bit of pressure off. He was brilliant. And the goal was just the icing on the cake. I mean, he was the best player in the park. I know Tenetsky changed the game, obviously, with his moments, but over the whole 120 minutes, I thought Ethan Hamilton was the best player. But you're just expecting more from Hatate and Bernardo, and then Luke McCowan's had a beautiful return pass for the winning goal, but he's not done enough when he started games this season. And the big hope for Celtic's that somehow Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is going to get up to speed rapidly, quickly, and have that sort of guile and nous in there, because struggling to make things happen from the middle, and the wide guys aren't doing enough.
Yeah, listen, I've been banging the drum for Luke McCowan, and I know what you're saying, Swanee, that perhaps he hasn't made the most of the opportunities he's had, but I'm continually impressed by him. And let's talk about that pass for the winning goal. It was sublime, first to have the vision to even spot it, but then to have the sort of the weight of the pass to make
how many guys zip that in there and rifle it, and just you can't play a pass like that. And but I mean, I'm sure Luke McCowan will be the first himself to admit that when he's had his chances from the start, he's not done enough.
Yeah,
consistently well enough. If he had done, he would be playing. But that's not an individual criticism of Luke McCowan, because it's been the same across the midfield. Engels hasn't done enough. Hatate hasn't done enough. Bernardo's in the rare sightings that we've been seeing, and you could make a case for Paolo Bernardo's to say, well, it's very difficult to be out of the team for a long period, be brought in and expect to hit the ground running, but still, these are the chances that guys have no doubt are knocking on the manager's door looking for. When you get one, you've got to go and take it and say to the manager, I'm in the team on Wednesday night as well.
Yeah, I'm going to dominate this.
For what I've just done, and no one's doing it. No one is doing it for Celtic, and to me, big concerns for Celtic, even out of this transfer window. As I say, that would have been 2 points gone last night. Teams are now setting up. I looked at Dundee, Stephen Presley last night. Listen, we touched on it already, Keith. When Dundee got the result against Brendan Rodgers' team earlier in the season, it was a more sort of pragmatic way they played. Kind of sat in and last night they were a lot more progressive through the pitch when they got the chance. But it was all based around doing your job. shape, proper being compact, and Celtic have got it. Let Celtic have it wide if they want, because the wide guys are not going to hurt you. The wide, and as of course, as it turns out, 94th minute.
Connect you did.
But I think that was just down to a fullback being shattered.
By the way, I was going to say, you said about Ethan Hamilton, absolutely correct. Head and shoulders job for me. But right back, I thought Halliday was exceptional for them as well. And I think you're absolutely right. I think he hardly had another step left in his legs.
True, yeah. He actually thought about hanging a lazy leg out, and then thought, better not in case I clip him. And he's just probably thinking, just fire this over to the corner. Just give me one break here, and to a beautiful ball in, and a tremendous finish from Adama. And that's going to give him a great lift as well. You know, he looked quite athletic and good. We didn't see enough really in the game to see fully what his touch was all about, and his link play and stuff like that, but we'll get to see more of that. But I do think we've got a couple of half decent front players there. I do think they are they look as though they might be able to do something for Celtic, but they're going to have to make them chances. And at the moment, that is an issue. It happened at Falkirk the other week when Celtic scored for a dead ball. I think never really created much in open play. There's been so many games this season. They haven't done enough in open play. They're not carving teams open anymore. Teams are finding it more and more easy to keep Celtic under control. They let them have it and they sit in, but it's not like they're just launching it when they win it back. They're going through the phases of the pitch as Dundee did last night. A couple of great moves in the second half, obviously, when Celtic were moving on. And teams have been able to get through Celtic. And I think there's big concerns there for Celtic. I know the message at the bottom of the screen was, it sounds like you're counting Celtic out. No one's counting Celtic out. Let's make that absolutely clear. I don't think anybody would be stupid enough to do that, and they've got the players in there. But on current form, they are the third best. I don't think anybody could argue with that.
No, I think you're right. I would say though, there's a couple of comments coming in, and this one it's a bit perverse. It makes. I'll just read it out. This one, if I can find it, Rebel says Celtic can't get any worse, and they're still right up there.
That's a fair point. A fair point. Celtic have not played well, basically for since about a month before Brendan Rodgers left. Probably is that fair? Martin O'Neill's results are sensational. I mean, the Martin O'Neill's results record over the two spells. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the statistics are, but it's got to be something like whatever, so many wins and only one draw or something.
He hasn't lost a domestic game, has he?
No.
Only team to beat him is Michelin, doesn't it?
But he's said often after games that not done enough, not been good enough. But I mean, they have found a way, and fair play to them for that. I mean, the one thing you've got to give them is that they've got some resilience. I mean, I can even go back to the game in Paisley earlier in the season. 0-0, probably the worst game I've seen all season, and Callum McGregor gets one out his feet and sticks in the top corner for 25 yards. When Celtic look as though they're good, I mean, they have got a will. Certainly under Martin O'Neill.